Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel, and today I'm going to be doing a very unambitious November pile of possibilities. I'm going to call this more of a pile of possibilities rather than a set TBR, because this is mostly just possibilities. I've been doing a lot of reading in October. October has been a very big reading month for me, which is great. November, I expect, will be a much slower reading month for me because Dragon Age: The Veilguard comes out on October 31st in just a few days, and I'm going to be playing it on day 1 and day 2 and day 3, and for probably many subsequent days afterwards. It is almost certainly going to be my new hyperfixation for the foreseeable future, and so I expect that I will be spending less of my free time reading and more of my free time playing this video game over the next however many weeks. So while I don't expect to stop reading altogether, I will continue to try to read every single day, which I have been doing a very good job of. I have surpassed 300 days in my current reading streak. But I am probably going to not read as much every day, so I expect I'll slow down quite a bit. So that said, my plans for the month of November are pretty loosey-goosey. I'm not committing myself to very much, if anything in particular. I'm going to mostly just be focusing on, in terms of my print reads, of course, audiobook reads are always kind of whatever I can get my hands on, proverbially on Libby, is whatever. But in terms of my print reads, there's really only a couple of things where I'm like, yeah, I'll probably try to get to this in November. The first would be Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This is as I said in my last video when I talked about this is the sort of the last of the classics that I purchased for myself like back in January that I plan to read this year, so I want to get this read. So I'll probably try to get this read in November. It's not very long. It's a classic dystopian novel. I've been really enjoying dystopian novels this year, so I'm looking forward to this one and would like to try and get it done in November. The only other thing that I know for kind of certain is that I'll probably try to get to another Discworld novel, in this case, the next Discworld novel on my list, because I'm reading in publication order, is Pyramids. So this should be fun. Even more exciting is the fact that once I'm done with Pyramids, the next one is Guards, which is one of my favorites. I have read that one before. It's a very fun book. So yeah, but yeah, I'm really enjoying my adventures in Discworld and reading Discworld in publication order, and I expect that I will enjoy Pyramids as well. I would also like to try and get another history type nonfiction book read at least one by the end of the year for Q4 of Historathon 2024. I do have a couple of possibilities, one of which I may try to tackle in November. The more likely one, both of these, by the way, are books that I purchased at a library sale a few months ago, and I made a video where I talked about all the books that I bought at that sale. So the more likely one I'll probably be reading is Little Demon in the City of Lights, a true story of murder and mesmerism in Belle Epoque Paris. So this is a good... it's not super long, which is why it's the stronger possibility. And yeah, it just seems like it would be kind of a fun, true crimey type historical nonfiction read. So if I get to one in November, it'll probably be this one. The other possibility would be Team of Rivals, which is much longer and much more dense, obviously. So if I do this one, it probably won't be until much later in the month, and it'll probably go into December. If I do this one, I might try to do it as more of like almost like a project book, I think, where I'd be like, sort of divided up, read X number of chapters per week and do it on kind of a schedule, as I'm allowing myself to read other things, in order to sort of make progress on it and get it done, over a slightly longer period of time, but then I would at least, make sure that I would get it done instead of trying to like push myself through it in one sort of go, because it is so big and so dense, that I feel like it might work better. And it's also something that I'm thinking about doing with more books in 2025, some of these bigger, denser, thicker books, that I want to read, and sort of dividing them up into manageable chunks that I can sort of say I'm going to read 3 or 4 chapters a week, and then however long that takes me is however long it takes me, and that's fine, and I'll just read other things, in between. But so these are the 2 sort of possibilities for Historathon 2024 in November, and maybe going into December. And then, of course, I do have the next Robin Hobb book, Chip of Destiny. I will probably put this off until December, but it's possible I will start it at least in November. We'll see where I'm at and how I'm feeling. But certainly, by December, I will want to get this started. And then really, like, the only other thing is that I just want to sort of keep focusing on my physical TBR, and because I have quite a few books, for me at least, I have quite a few books sort of sitting on my physical TBR shelf that I want to read. And so I want to keep sort of working on that. And I also want to focus on my Our Fantasy Bingo board. I want to keep making progress on that. So I actually do have 6 books that are on my physical TBR and that I have listed for prompts on the Our Fantasy Bingo board that I haven't done yet. So I'm not expecting, obviously I'm not going to read all 6 of these this month. But these are like the possibilities, right? So I have Wool by Hugh Howey. This is the first in the Silo trilogy. And I have this for the Under the Surface prompt, because it takes place primarily underground in an underground bunker. So there's this. I have Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I bought this for the Judge a Book by its cover prompt, so I have no idea what this is about. I purchased this purely based on the cover. I have Circe by Madeline Miller. This one I have listed for the book club prompt because they have done a book club on Circe, and I had this on my shelf, and so I stuck it in there for that prompt. So that's this one. I Saw of Jade City by Fonda Lee. This, of course, is the first in the Green Bone saga, and I have this one for the prompt for the maps, for the associated, the map thing. For maps, character lists, glossaries, whatever. I have The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I have this on the board for the alliterative title prompt. And finally, I have To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Mona Quill Blackgoose. This is for the author of color prompt. Hard mode, it's a debut novel from within the last 5 years, I believe. That's the hard mode of this. And this is a hard mode book. So those are my sort of 6 possibilities for the fantasy bingo board for the month of November. I'll try to get to one of them. I'm not sure which one. I'll probably just pick one at random or whatever I'm feeling like, because I am a mood reader. And so, yeah, that's basically all of my plans for November for reading, because again, I'm going to be guarding a veil probably for a large chunk of the month of November. And so, yeah, I'm giving myself plenty of breathing room. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to get a lot read in November. We will see what I get accomplished. If I get any or most of this accomplished, we shall see. I always try to take it easy on myself and not try to feel like, this is a job or anything. This is my hobby. So, yeah, it's not a big deal. None of it's a big deal. It's all for fun. So yeah, that's really all I got. If you want to like or subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. If you enjoy any of these books, think I should be prioritizing any of them this month, let me know, especially those 6 for the Our Fantasy Bingo. If you've read any of them, let me know which one you think I should read first on that of those 6. And yeah. And what books are you reading in November? Let me know, and let's talk about it in the comments. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.